Football brings you the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and it's brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Commanders and the Panthers, and it's all up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is in uptown Charlotte, North Carolina at Bank of America Stadium. Coming up, we've got an ultra-important divisional round matchup in the NFC, as it'll be the Washington Commanders taking on the Carolina Panthers. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talked about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
One of two spots in the NFC title game awaits the winner here as we're underway in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
And it wasn't really his best performance of the year in the wild card round last week. He just had the one touchdown pass, but he got the job done and his team advanced. For them to continue on to the championship round, though, he's going to need to take a few more chances with the ball downfield, push it a little bit more, and make sure his team finds its way into the end zone a few more times.
And the screen unsuccessfully dropped it. To the air goes Daniels. Throw to the right here, taken in by McLaurin. And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4. Daniels looking to throw. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the young man from the University of Auburn, their rookie quarterback.
He got the win last week, and we all know how infrequently rookie quarterbacks win in the playoffs. So by now, it feels like old hat to him. Well, maybe not old hat, but you've got to believe he'll be looser, calmer going into this one. He already knows what it takes to lead a team to victory in the playoffs.
On the ground, it's Brooks to start the drive. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. From the 35, here's 2nd and a couple. Once again, it's Brooks. And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. They'll try and run here with Brooks. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Well, now hang on here because he appears to be shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. This is Ridley. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
As we both know, there's a lot that went into why they made it their first-round pick this year. Part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things broke down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting away to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Newton now to throw. Oh, his first throw of this playoff matchup is intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Commanders are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line.
He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
The Commanders' offense returning to the field.
And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
From the 41, here's a 2nd and 4. They'll run for the first time here with Brian Robinson.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Play action, now it's Daniels. And that's going to be caught downfield by Brown.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30.
He was so vital in their wild card win a week ago. 8 catches in that game. This is his first one in this affair.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter.
A give left side to Robinson.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. Now Daniels. That is caught. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want it to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
And perhaps now close to the first points of this divisional round game as it's 1st and goal. Now they send a man in motion right.
To throw is Daniels.
That's Samuel, caught left side. They'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal.
Throwing now is Daniels.
It's caught on the right side by Robinson. This will wind up a loss on the play. And now we've got a 3rd and goal situation.
Here's Daniels.
Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Call it a loss of 8 there, and it's going to lead to a 4th down. 4th and goal.
It's up to how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down.
Sanders' kick is good. And the Commanders get out to a 3-0 lead. Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for them.
You're exactly right about that. And this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, it took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
The Panthers coming back out onto the field for their 2nd drive.
Their 2nd drive here of the ballgame, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense held up. It bent a little but didn't break, only giving up the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there the last time out, but boy, they have to thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Their turn now. Back out on the field, put together a good drive, and get some points of their own. And when you get into the divisional round of the playoffs, this is where having the ability to run the football is such an advantage. The defenses, they're generally going to be tougher the further you go along. So if you can get something established up front, it's going to give you a great chance to move on.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd down and 5.
Now Newton. And that'll be incomplete.
I didn't like the look of that play right from the beginning. I thought he should have seen the coverage that was there, tried to force it in. That one, he's fortunate, just fell incomplete.
Newton. That's taken in. It's Xavier Liggett. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds.
9 yards on the play and a first down.
I don't care how many times we see it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. This is 2nd and 8.
Back to throw, Newton. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
2nd down and 8. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Marked that down for a win in the defense's column.
And he will possibly get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. On the other hand, it will definitely take us to the end of the first quarter of play.
Second quarter now from Charlotte, and it's the Panthers with the football.
An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7. Throwing is Newton. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Smith. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. That's good for a first down. There's a guy who went over 1,000 yards receiving in the regular season, and now he's got his first catch in the playoffs. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And it's complete right back in the hands of Smith. They'll get to him just inside the 15-yard line. And even after that fancy footwork we saw, good job defensively to recover. At the 14-yard line. From the gun, here's Newton. And he will find Ridley on the left side. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. Newton throwing again. This is caught. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal. At the 3-yard line. Now Newton. It fights him off. But he can't get away forever, and down he goes.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
A big one coming in this divisional round playoff, 3rd and goal.
Hey, reload, bring it.
Here's Newton. And it'll be intercepted.
And the Commanders are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. And the defense, Charles, they bit a little bit, but they did not break. And then on 3rd and goal there, the huge interception.
Think of the momentum they're carrying with them right now, Brandon, because in their mind, whether they want to admit it or not, they were conceding 3 points. Their goal was to keep them out of the end zone, not give up a touchdown. Instead, they give up nothing. What a big-time play and a big-time stop by them.
Here's the first carry for Austin Eckler. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
He was taken down on the 22-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
Daniels from the gun on 3rd down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean, or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
And complete to Zach Ertz.
And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 32-yard line.
And the Commanders' 1st down.
They go play action. Daniels. And that one into the hands of Brown downfield.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And trying to get it to Samuel, but it's intercepted. And the Panthers are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line.
The Panthers take over 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
And they'll begin by running the option. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line.
Holding offense.
An unfortunate time for the penalty there. That cancels out a positive play from this offense.
Well, not to sound too trite or too accepting, but you and I both know it happens. You got to accept it and move on. Yardage, you got to get back. Focus on the next play, move on.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Brought down around the 16 or 17. Had a nice move but couldn't free much space. The Panthers on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. To throw is Newton. This one caught by Ridley. And he's going to be stopped well short of what he needed as the tackle is made at the 18-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down. Only a gain of 2 there. Here's Ryan Stonehouse now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
Here we go. Check. 2, 3.
Straight ahead, it's Robinson.
And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Brown the motion man right. Now here's a fake on the jet sweep, and a give to Robinson.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. That good for 19 and a 1st down. I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender, and then the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, it's sometimes a thing of beauty.
To the air goes Daniels. Checks this one down to Robinson.
And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it's 2nd down.
Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. From the 25, here's 2nd down at 7. Daniels looking to throw. This pass complete to McLaurin going across the middle. And McLaurin going to pick up a Commander's 1st down as he's down at the 17-yard line. Now Daniels.
And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down. Creeping up on a minute to play in this 1st half. And he is going to lose yardage here.
And Washington now going to use the 1st of their 3 timeouts,
as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the 1st half. So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? And he's got it. Touchdown. Noah Brown, a 7-yard touchdown grab.
and the Commanders will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
Partner, to me, that touchdown had something that was kind of rooted in that group seeing the future. What I mean by that is they had a plan. Let's find a way to score right here before the half, and that'll give us momentum going into the second half, give us that cushion that we're looking for. They got that accomplished, scoring right before the half ended.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead grows to 10-0. So that drive in total 8 plays, and the result, a touchdown for Washington. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And you work so hard during the regular season to earn that bye to go to the divisional round fresh. Well, maybe they're too fresh because they've come out here pretty flat.
And how many times have we seen it? And let's go to other sports now. Let's go to basketball, baseball, those ones where the playoffs are a series. And you see teams who were playing before versus the team that had the bye, and they take them on. And how many often does that team that had been playing before win game one?
Right.
Almost always, right? Feels that way anyway. When it's a one-shot deal like the NFL, that's critical because now you come in and you get the momentum. You can take them out in that one game, and it's over. And those other ones, that team at home usually gets a chance to recover, and they're usually the better team.
Well, they better halt that momentum on the other side quickly, or this might be their last game. Here's Newton.
Got a man. That's Leggett.
And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds.
2nd and 5.
33-yard line. A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
Now it's Newton.
That one complete to Leggett.
Now the Panthers going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Newton to throw. And that is incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
And this one is right through. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. Maybe a moral victory of sorts. They're on the board here late in the first half, but this offense just hasn't looked that sharp.
Yeah, but at least they got the 3 points, right? At least have something to, quote-unquote, hang their hats on and maybe feel a little bit better about themselves as they head to the half.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just one snap of the football. And this is Ertz with it, right side. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
But first, let's take a look ahead to tomorrow's other divisional round game in the NFC. And it looks like we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Green Bay Packers doing battle with the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, in our game, we're set up for a terrific second half. So to find out who will advance to the NFC title game, let's send it back out to Brandon Gott.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Panthers offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And it's been a rough night at the office for him. He's been more of a liability than an asset throughout the contest. And this offense is having a hard time overcoming his struggles to this point. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Well, out of the locker rooms here they come. Their first drive of the third quarter. And, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game, but we got a tight one set up to be a very entertaining second half.
And as we know, partner, in the NFL, there's trailing and there's trailing, right? Sometimes you're discouraged by how much you're down, but in this case, this is a tight ball game, so there's a sense of optimism here. I think they went into half and looked at their play sheet and said, these are the plays we really like. What do you say we use them to start the second half and get us going?
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 13 yards, first down, Panthers. They run out of the gun with Brooks here. They juked him. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Washington territory. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. This is Smith with a ground. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 26. 23 yards the pickup there. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that they're very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Here's Newton. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
5 yards on the screen, but that'll take us to 4th down.
It's 4th down and less than a yard.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that'll bring him back within 4. So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
This is where the NFL is headed year by year, partner. A league where just about everyone has someone under center who can get you with their legs as well as their arm. And we've certainly had a nice display of that from both QBs in this game. And that continued with that first down run.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's second down. Eckler now between the tackles. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. Robinson will try to pick it up. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
A 4-yard pickup on the play. And the Commanders touchdown.
Throwing now is Daniels. Got a man, it's Brown. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Now a 2nd and 2. Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. 49 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
And that's a great run, and this is where you've got a running back who feels like he needs to take over this football game. You're in the second half, you got the lead, you're looking at moving on to the conference championship, and he's got to be saying, just keep giving me the ball, and I'll get us home.
2nd and goal from the 1. Now an option play, and he'll keep it. And he's in. Touchdown, Commanders. Jaden Daniels keeping it himself from a yard out. And the Commanders add 6 to their lead. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is lets you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you've taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. They've been settling quite a bit. They've been able to move the football some, but they've just been settling. That's one of the reasons they're down on the scoreboard.
I love that word you picked, settling, because nowadays in this NFL, you're thinking touchdown almost every drive because everything's so high-powered. Yeah, you'll take the field goal, but you always feel like you're leaving points out there when you don't put it in the end zone.
They'll be trying to put it in the end zone here on this drive. 2nd down and a yard. Out of the gun, Newton. And he is going to lose yardage here. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3. It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackled him for a loss.
And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the third quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync, Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
Well, here we go on the next drive for Washington. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Robinson up the middle.
And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Call that a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the third.
On third down, Robinson.
And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on third down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
To throw is Daniels.
That's complete to his receiver, McCoy. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
13 yards there on a Washington first. Here's Daniels.
And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They'll wind up getting just a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson.
And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. 1 quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now in Charlotte.
It's Washington with the football and the lead as we start the 4th.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 down at the 33.
They'll let the QB keep it here off the option.
Running on 1st down, Eckler. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
And the Washington first down.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
Yeah, their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
They're backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Daniels from the gun on 3rd down.
This will be caught by Brown. And he's going to come up well short as they rally up to stop him at about the 16. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that's going to make it 4th down. Now Jason Sanders for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 33. Sanders' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist, but time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
The Panthers now set to take over offensively.
And several days ago, you and I talked with a couple of guys in the meetings about how big is home field advantage? And they kind of downplayed it a bit, but I think we're seeing here today, building up this lead, looks like they're going to win. Why home field advantage in the divisional round so important?
Yeah, they may have downplayed it, but we can also sense that it was important to them because nothing has to change. You don't have to uproot anything. Sometimes when you're going on the road, you may have to even leave earlier in order to get acclimated if it's going to be a tough environment against the team you're going to play. So being at home is a big deal. But now they know, at least they feel like it, they're moving on to the championship round. There's got to be no better feeling. They'll get that 24-hour rule in. Enjoy that before they look forward to the next opponent.
Washington on third down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 4. Back to throw, Newton. Got a man and he hits him in stride. And he is going to have a Panthers first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4. Now Newton. Quick hitter here is complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Another first down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together?
From Commanders territory now, it's 1st and 10
at the 43.
Up the middle with Brooks here.
Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40.
Yasir Abdullah making the stop. From the 42-yard line, here's the 2nd down and 9.
A shotgun snap for Newton.
And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
Newton now to throw.
Look at the big fella go.
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. A great play there. 42 yards.
And the Panthers have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Well, time to let those folks know who are tuning in looking for the late local news. We may be a moment because we've got a game again.
And partner, except for those on the West Coast where it'll be seen in its regular time, right? That's the way it works, doesn't it? But how about that? Big-time drive right there. If they're going to have any chance, they needed a touchdown there, and they went right down the field and worked their way into the end zone.
Point after, right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away.
And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further.
Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here.
And this has been a tight game to this point. Of course, they usually are at this juncture of the playoffs. But with the lead in the football, the clock right now their friend as they try to book their spot in the conference championship next Sunday.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
From the 29, here's 2nd and 2.
Operating from the gun, Daniels. This is Ertz on the pitch and catch. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
A gain of 5. And the Commanders first down.
Come on.
Off the option, here's Robinson.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
66 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Here's 2nd and 3.
47-yard line.
Out of the gun, they give to Robinson.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up. Operating from the gun, Daniels. And he fins him off. But now he's swallowed up and taken down.
Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4.
Like the footwork back there, and I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. So now the Panthers down 20-13, 2:25 remaining. They need a touchdown here to try to force overtime, but they've got the support of this playoff record crowd. 1st and 10.
Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away for pretty good yardage. At that time, they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
Quick slant here to Smith.
And a pretty little juke move there on a nice game. I tell you, it has not been his best day throwing the football. He really needs to piece something together here.
All will be forgiven if he leads him into the end zone.
Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. Picked off by Quan Martin.
And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, and became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How'd things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's a guy in all the commercials now, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
Let's go now. Roll. Bronco switch.
They got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Second and long, but you got to figure this almost certainly another run.
On the give, here's Robinson.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
They'll run again.
And after the good game last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to perhaps salt this one away. The kick by Sanders is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So that one, CD, going to make the road back a lot more difficult.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know they were praying on the other sideline for a miss because now, as you pointed out, a very difficult road. Down 2 scores. You don't just need a touchdown. You need a chain of events to go your way. You've got to score, somehow get the ball back, and score again. The odds of that happening, not great in your favor.
Now the offense for the Panthers here getting the football back. And this group has suffered far too many self-inflicted wounds thus far as we run through some of the mistakes. It's darn near impossible to win in this league when you're turning the ball over at the frequency that they have. This is 1st and 10.
Now it's Newton. Now he's forced out left. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Inside a minute to go. Here's 2nd and 10 now.
Here we go, sack.
Now Newton. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
Newton.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a first down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
The decision made for them. They've got to go. It's fourth down.
They snap it to Newton. And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Picked off by Quan Martin. And he will bring this one back. An interception return for a Commanders touchdown.
Little choice, Charles, but to go for it right there, and that pick six will be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, you don't know how many more possessions you're going to get, so really you're almost at the point of no options. Have to go for it. Bottom line, though, is defenders know that as well. They know you've got to throw the football. Had the right defense called, able to make a nice play on the ball, and that's all she wrote.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Carolina getting set to take the field.
It certainly has not been the outing that they envisioned on their home turf in the divisional round of the playoffs, and they have been pushed around, and now their backs against the wall.
Coming off the pick six, it's Newton. He's going to let it fly.
And that's going to be incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
From the gun, here's Newton.
Throw out wide is incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout that's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And he is caught.
And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. Nice third down conversion and even 20 yards. Here's Newton.
To the sideline and incomplete. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
One last throw here for Newton. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Still shedding tackles. Touchdown, Carolina. A great effort there. 56 yards.
And the Panthers have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth.
Just a formality now, but here's the extra point. It's up and it's good, so that'll mean the final deficit will tally out at 10. Well, on both sides, you come into this game with so much hope, so much build-up, looking to move on. One side gets to do that, but let's not forget the others. Tough pill to swallow.
It really is, because there's so much hard work, effort. You mentioned the hope to go on and maybe play in the big game itself. Well, let's see how they handle it, though. The offseason is going to be